I now recognize Senator Bennet for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's good to see you in this role. Thank you for having me today. I'm not on the committee, but I know how important this is.
Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you. Senator Marshall, my mom is proud of you for drinking that milk. I will. I'll tell her. She's probably the only person. That's not true. I was going to say the only person watching this, but that's not true. She's not actually. She's not watching because she didn't know what you'd be doing. But I just wanted to come by because before I was in the shub, I was the superintendent of the Denver Public Schools, and the vast majority of kids there were living in poverty. They still are, the problem there was not that people didn't work. The problem was people were working 2 and 3 jobs, and no matter what they did, they couldn't get their kids out of poverty. And that's what's happening all over America, in a country where, you know, we are the richest country in the world, Mr. Chairman. It's true, and we have the worst income inequality that we've had since the 1920s in this country. We have the lowest economic mobility that we've had in generations, and lower economic mobility, I'm sad to say this, than many other industrialized countries in the world that we compare ourselves to. And do I think there's some people that don't work? If given the opportunity to work, probably. But I think what's much more likely the case, based on the parents, the families that I've worked with, is that people are working. People are killing themselves. They're not just working, their kids are working. So when you're in a family's house and you go, you know, you're the superintendent, and you show up, and I did show up under these circumstances when kids weren't going to school, you know, on a morning after, and you'd say, well, why, you know, on a morning they missed school, and I'd say, well, why have you missed school? And they said, because I was working until 12 o'clock last night at McDonald's down the street. Because we don't have the sense to give kids in this country the opportunity to go to school when it makes sense for them. We have a one-size-fits-all approach to public education that makes it hard, I think, for kids, for working families to work in the ways that they want to work and be able to support their kids. I know Ms. Jones-Cox knows that we spent a lot of time working on the child tax credit a few years ago to cut childhood poverty in this country almost in half, which we did. When the Biden administration came in, we cut childhood poverty by 50%, most significant reduction in childhood poverty in American history. We reduced hunger in the United States by 30%, and we didn't add a single bureaucrat to the federal government to do it. It wasn't a bureaucratic program. It was just putting money in the hands of families to be able to spend them, as Ms. Hasty was talking about, in the best interest of their kids, you know, so that they could buy a little bit of extra relief at the end of the month when they're paying their rent, when they're paying their light bill, when they're paying for their food, or for school clothes in the case of kids that, you know, I represent in Colorado, whose parents were saying this is the first time that we've actually been able to provide school kits for our school clothes for our kids. So from my point of view, you know, we are living in the richest country in the world, and our level of childhood poverty is criminal. It's inexcusable. It's immoral. It's unacceptable. And I think we should end it. I think cutting it in half was a good start, and I'm very sad that that came to an end. It worked. It did what we said it was going to do. And, you know, for me, and I'm not talking about people over on this side of the aisle, I'm talking about in the other House of Congress, to see people who blew up this deficit so that the wealthiest people in America could have tax cuts when we have the worst income inequality since the 1920s, that makes no sense to me. That's a handout that makes no sense to me. When we have a solution for the childhood poverty that we are facing, and the idea that we'd be threatening to blow up our credit rating over the school lunch program or over SNAP doesn't make any sense to me. So, Ms. Cox, with my last 22 seconds, sorry to go on for so long, but you know, to the families in Colorado and to the I guess what I'd say, just two things. One, Is it true that there are no work requirements when it comes to SNAP? And two, what's it going to mean to families? You know, 2/3 of the folks that get SNAP are living in families with children in Colorado. What's it going to mean to those children if we cut these programs the way these folks have been talking about?
Okay, real quick. So no, it is not true that there aren't current work requirements in SNAP. There are. We've been talking about them. There's a 3-month time limit for individuals not working out of 3 months. So, out of 3 years. So there is work requirements. And the second, the proposal that was placed by Representative Johnson, for Colorado in specific, it would be 115,000 SNAP participants in households that would be at risk of losing SNAP. So if we're looking at those households with children 7 and below, or we're going from age 50 to 64. So it's a lot of people in Colorado that would be at risk of losing their
and I know my time is up and I'm done, but let me just say, what I saw when the child tax credit went away, the enhanced child tax credit went away, was food pantries just, go up like this, skyrocket like this, and I think we're going to see the same thing here, Ms. Hasty. I don't know if you had the benefit of the child tax credit or not. Would you mind saying a word about that, and then I'll stop?
In terms of
just what that enhanced. I'm sorry to surprise you with it because this is
I'm sorry.
But what that extra money meant in terms of the child tax credit during COVID.
The extra child tax credit, me personally, in my own experience, allowed me to pay back rent. So it was extremely helpful. It was, like I said in my testimony, it's not an unfamiliar story that it had helped just take a huge weight off my shoulders.
That's what families say to me, is that the stress is what it relieves. Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you. And I apologize to my colleague for going over.
Thank you.